streetlights in your part of Cambridgeshire been replaced yet? The contractor carrying out this work, Balfour Beatty, have been replacing a number of streetlights in Cambridgeshire, and there have been complaints from various places about how long it's taking. At the moment, it's Romsey's turn in Cambridge. According to the City Councillor from Romsey, Dave Bagent, there are currently 100 unfinished holes in his patch, and that means barriers that pushchairs and wheelchairs have to struggle around. We'll speak to Dave in a moment, but first let's hear from people on Vinery Road in Romsey.
It's really hazardous for, all the people that come up and down here to school with the buggies and everything. I personally found it quite difficult to cut my hedge, but I think that's fairly small in the larger scheme of things. But it is definitely an issue. But they're everywhere around Romsey.
I haven't really noticed them, to be honest. It would be nicer if it wasn't there, obviously, but hopefully it won't be soon.
I don't mind that.
Well, it's rather difficult when if I'm walking around with a stick. Yeah. It is dangerous, especially somewhere like this, the barriers around there. And people who've got children and they've got a pram, they can't get by, they've got to step out on the road, and it's more dangerous.
No idea when they're putting it all back or, what the plan is. But I know it is really annoying at the moment, getting anywhere.
So let's have a word with Dave Bagent, who's one of the councillors for Romsey in Cambridge. When did the work start then, Dave?
Well, I first noticed it at the beginning of April. And what you've just been explaining shows the enormous patience of the people of Cambridge about how this has gone on. We've had holes all over Romsey, which is one of the parts of Cambridge, since the beginning of April, and these holes are in fact dangerous. Can I just explain what Balfour Beatty actually do? They dig a hole, they cut off the lamppost and they wire it in, and then they fill the hole up. That all seems pretty simple, but it isn't that simple. It's the gap between when they've completed all the work but not filled the hole in. So all over Romsey we've got barriers surrounding holes, some of which are about half a metre deep, and the majority of them force the people to walk into the road. And this is just unacceptable. I can't understand why the people of Romsey actually are being so generous towards Balfour Beatty.
And these barriers and the holes, they've been in place for 3 months now. Is that longer than you'd been told it would last?
Well, I think the expectation was that it would all happen at one time. I'm told by Balfour Beatty that the County Council, who are responsible for this PFI bid, have in fact given them 6 to 10 weeks to complete the job. But I don't think even the County Council expected that holes would be left open for the 10 weeks. It's just unbelievable.
And we have heard complaints around the work on the streetlights from lots of different places in Cambridgeshire. I know that in Arbury the street works are still going on, and they've been going on since before the election, so, well over 2 months. We've also heard complaints from Swavesey that they were taking so long. We've heard previously from Foxton and Melbourne with concerns about how long the works are taking, also from the Shelfords. What do you make of the whole situation?
Well, I think that this is a typical example of how a democratically elected county council is unable to control something that they've actually put in action. And I can't believe, it is ridiculous that the county council aren't able to say to Balfour Beatty, OK, so you dig the hole, it may take a day to fill it, but the fact that you can leave it for up to 3 months is just unacceptable. It just shows, it's like the library situation that's occurred in Cambridge recently. There seems to be no accountability of the county council or the way that they're behaving.
So what would you want to happen, Dave?
Well, I think that the county council should give Balfour Beatty 1 week to complete the work in Romsey, and I think that the contract should in fact be written properly so that when they dig a hole, it has to be filled in within 24 hours. The parking situation in Romsey is such that people have difficulty walking down the pavements anyway, but the pavements are now blocked throughout the whole of our small part of Cambridge.
What about the bigger picture though, Dave? Lovely new streetlights.
Well, not so lovely, I don't think. They're not actually very green. One would have believed that they would have been putting LED light bulbs in them, but they're not. And, what's the gain? A street light which is shinier? Well, it doesn't actually work very much better, or any better, and certainly not a green light, and it should have been a green light. There's government money available to to borrow to put actually LED lights in these lampposts, and they haven't done that either.
OK, Dave, nice to talk to you this morning. Councillor